disrupting diabetes. Since my diagnosis, I've obviously done a lot of research for YouTube, but I've also joined some Facebook pages. And on these pages, most of the members are obviously type 2 diabetics like myself, and I've been able to gather a lot of information from the members and what they're saying and doing, and also I've been able to share a bit of the knowledge that I've gained, and been able to share some of the videos with them also. On one particular time, after someone watched the video, her name was Sue Fisher. She actually direct messaged me and reached out to me and said if I needed to know anything, she could help me out. She was actually diagnosed with an A1C of 12, so it was a little bit more severe than I had, and she was able to reverse that, or put it into remission within 3 to 4 months. So I thought to myself, why not come on and we'll talk about it and release a video about her story. And the story's a great story. She actually goes a little bit about it differently to I did, as in she gets on the keto diet, but she didn't go with the low calorie approach I took, and also the exercise program I took. So it's just another way of going about beating this disease. And Sue's been able to keep this thing in remission for 4 years, so it's pretty inspirational what she's done. So we'll go for the video, and just before we do, guys, if you are watching these videos and liking them, could you please subscribe, because it allows us to continue to make these videos and get them out to people, and I want to keep trying to get this information out and help as many people as we can. So we'll go to the video, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Hey everyone, just a quick reminder, if you liked what you just watched, why not hit that subscribe button below? It really helps support the channel and ensures you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. I also, we're here with, I've got a special person. She's reached out to me through Reversing Type 2 Diabetes, and she saw a video of mine and direct messaged me and just said, if you ever have any questions, she's basically done what I'm trying to do. And I thought, well, I've got plenty of questions and we may as well make a video on it. So I'd like everyone to meet Sue Fisher. She's from a little town in Frankfort in Michigan, USA. Completely different to where I'm from. Told it's very cold, whereas we're experiencing middle of summer here, 30 degrees, and Sue's basically freezing to death. So glad you could join us, Sue. And just tell us a little bit about, I suppose, first of all, how you were diagnosed and what sort of level of diabetes you had. I know you're more severe than me, so just run us through that to start with, and we'll go from there.
So back in 2020, very beginning of 2020, the big year, I started experiencing some symptoms that were scaring me. As it turns out, I had other symptoms of type 2 diabetes going on, but I didn't recognize them as such, and they were not alarming me. But I started to have a couple of times in 1 week where my heart was racing like crazy. It was 130, 140 a minute, and I was just sitting down or laying down. And so after a short time of that, I literally packed a bag to go into my doctor's office because I wasn't sure if I was heading for a hospital after that, and went in and got checked out. And over the course of 2 different visits, I was then diagnosed with type 2 diabetes with an A1C of 12.5. And so that was my wake-up call. And I had context to put it in. I didn't realize at the time that I knew my maternal grandmother had diabetes. I didn't know it was type 2 at the time. I didn't know that much about it, but I knew that she had diabetes and she had lost both of her legs to diabetes. So There was no mind games of saying, oh, this is not a big deal. I
Yeah.
knew it was a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, I was the same, and like when I was diagnosed with it, it was quite a shock to me because of the severity of it also, and I actually mentally struggled. Like for probably 3-4 days, I had sleepless nights, and emotionally, I was not coping that well actually. So, and what about yourself? Did you have that initial shock, or did you?
I did, but I was blessed with one of the still all too rare doctors that gave me a very positive course of action. With that high of an A1C, he did not put me on insulin. He did not put me on a plethora of pills. He did put me on a very low dose of metformin extended release. But he told me to eat keto. So I was given a direction. I had friends that were doing keto. And so I had gotten to shift quickly into a plan of action and something I could do right away. And I think that helped.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember the shock and the fear as much. It was there, but I think because I had something I had to do, I had change ready to make immediately.
Yeah.
That kind of kept me a little bit more engaged and in that mode instead of just as much in my head and scared to death. But the fear was there.
Yeah. So you got a bit lucky than me because I sort of knew I was going to be diagnosed with diabetes, and I'd gone down that rabbit hole of going down the keto diet. But what I found, and I'm finding a lot too on especially social media, that basically a lot of people are giving the same advice as me. I was just told from my doctor, because I actually asked him, can this be reversed with diet? And he basically said to me, no. He said, no, you're straight on medication and you'll just manage it. We'll put you in with a care nurse.
Yep.
And without knowing what I know now, like I'd be struggling like a lot of people are to find out, like, what do we do? How do we check blood sugars? All this sort of stuff that a lot of people just aren't getting that information. And it comes down to, I suppose, well, you get lucky with some doctors and you don't. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's just the keto diet's just the way to go for sure. And so you jumped on the keto diet, and from there, how long did it take before you got to remission? And what else did you do besides keto?
Well, my doctor also told me the day he diagnosed me to walk like 15 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him right away that, I had plantar fasciitis. So he sent me on to a podiatrist. I can't say anything the podiatrist did helped. I mean, he told me the standard exercises and things like that. I think once I healed enough, the inflammation that was causing it went away. I don't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a few months, and it was winter here when I was diagnosed. So it was probably March or April when things started to thaw a little bit that I started doing just some walking, nothing hard, nothing, and I was at the time of diagnosis, 230 pounds. And that was down from my original about 260, as far as I know, of my highest. I didn't own a scale back then, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while before I started doing that. So for me, my A1C dropped just really with keto and metformin from 12.5 to 5.5 in the first 3 months.
That's great.
So it really didn't involve exercise to speak of at that point.
Yep.
And so that came later. After I got off the metformin, when it was 5.5, that's when I started incorporating fasting. Not just, I'd already done what now I call time restricted eating. But once I knew the metformin was out of my system and I could get all the worries about, these lows people hear about out of my head. And I did I started doing 36-hour fasts. When I did the first one, by the way, I woke up the next morning and I felt like Superwoman. I was like, wow, I can do this. And then adding days was no big deal.
Did you experience headaches on the first one? I know the first one I did, I got a headache the first night.
Probably. I don't remember now, but I tend to be prone to headaches.
Yep.
And I was never afraid of taking what's known as Tylenol here. I think you know of it as a paracetamol.
Yep.
I just did what I needed to do to get through it without pain and kept going. And that certainly didn't stop me from success.
Yep.
And over the next 3 months, I did up to a 7-day water fast.
Yep.
Now I have coffee with my fast. Back then I did.
Yeah, I found that
totally clean. I don't do that anymore. But
I think for diabetics, like fasting's I think probably the best tool we've got to keep your blood levels down for sure. And, and it's nothing to fear. Like people say, how can you go for 2 days without eating? You can do it quite easily, I find.
I think you do need to give your body some time to adapt. And there are people that early on, their insulin resistance, et cetera, is so bad that the longer they go without food, the higher their blood sugars go. So you need to get in your healing far enough that stops.
Yep.
But because my doctor only told me to test my feet to the floor, fasting blood sugar once a day, I didn't know about those things that were happening. I now test more and I think it's nice, but maybe early on it's not so necessary because your blood sugar does all kinds of weird things throughout the day. And if you don't know, you can panic unnecessarily. But fasting is incredibly healing. And it's a practice I still do now and then today.
Yep.
At my 6-month checkup, my A1C was 4.4. And so that was 3 months with no medications. And at that point, the term he used in my chart was resolved, that my type 2 diabetes was resolved.
Yeah, they're great. So that's great numbers.
I have 3 days every year that I celebrate. And I truly celebrate my diagnosis because my life is so much better now. And that is the day of diagnosis, the day of getting off the meds, and the day of it being considered resolved. And they're like birthdays.
It would be a fantastic feeling. I'm hoping I'll get there. Well, I will get there for sure. I'm going to make sure
you'll get there. You'll get there. Your journey will be unique, to you. But you'll get there.
Yeah, and so. Now, continuing on, talk to us now about what you're doing, and you regularly testing your bloods.
Yep. So I have continued. This journey has been incredible about learning about my body, learning about my mind.
Yep.
I came across some great different people that explained about carb addiction, which is truly a thing. I was not end stage, thank goodness. I've seen what that looks like from others. And I'm going to hesitate. Looks like we're froze.
Yeah, no, I can hear you, but
okay. Are we back? There we go. So with the carb addiction, I really respect that. And I understand that that's a slippery slope. So I'm very careful what I do. I have actually morphed more towards what's known as ketovore. Most of my days are just carnivore. Meat and eggs. I came to be able to eat. I can't say I truly love them. Sardines. I have incorporated them, but they're handy and they're always with me. So if I really need to eat something, I've got them. So I stay with that. And I have certainly, in the beginning, when I first started the journey, I would do some walking once it was warm enough. And now I really do an exercise routine and walking and sprinting and some weight resistance. And I love it. I feel so much better. So it's a much healthier life than I ever had. And I have been So when I was diagnosed, I was 100 or 230 pounds. I came down to between 130 and 135. This last year, put about 6 or 7 pounds on, which I'm trying to say to go away again. But this is the best I've ever maintained weight that I can remember in my life.
Yep.
So understanding the hormones and how to work with them is incredible. And, you know, I'm so thankful for learning that.
Yeah. So, as you know, I've gone a bit extreme with my calories early. You were saying and that's my way of dealing with it. But you didn't go down that track when you first started the ketogenic diet, as in I've only on the 800 calorie.
So yeah, no, I started the first week or two. I don't remember how long. I ate what I wanted, when I wanted, so long as it was keto. Yep. And I kept those total. I was probably doing net carbs at the very beginning. I find total carbs are much better. I was probably doing that around 30.
Yep.
And so I gave myself some time just to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still was not knowledgeable about the hormones and how it works. So I started doing a little bit more calories in, calories out mindset. And I backed it down, but I think I was 1,300 to 1,500.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely loving the fats. I was so thrilled to be told this was okay, because I'd done that other routine, the low fat stuff starting, around 1993 for a long time. And that sucks. It's no fun. There's not much satiation on that.
Yeah, you don't feel hungry. I feel quite satisfied, like even on the 800 calories. Yeah, it's just the keto diet. That's just what it does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're eating so much more nutrient dense foods that you get that satiation. Like me yesterday at that restaurant, I hadn't eaten all that much, and here I ordered 2 hamburger patties with cheddar cheese, and they were half-pound patties. So I guess I should have realized that ahead of time.
Yeah.
But I ate one and I was just done. And that was it for the day. And that was after 2 36-hour fasts this week, and I was done.
Yeah, great. All right. Yeah. So that's been great to hear from you, Sue. And like you're an inspiration for me. It's really good to hear from people that are going down or have done this journey that I'm going down, and gives me a lot of confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm seeing a lot of my numbers are coming right down, and I'm sort of tracking to where I want to be. And hearing from people like you and encouragement, it's making this journey so much easier. And I'm sure I'm going to get there. And it's been great listening to your story, and you being able to, or both of us now, hopefully we can get out and reach some people that aren't as knowledgeable as us, I suppose, and are looking for answers, and hopefully we can help them.
Yeah, that's, too many people don't know that you can reverse it, put it in remission, whatever you want to say, that it truly is a carb intolerance issue for our bodies. And that we need to always keep that in mind. But I think it's become a passion to me to give other people the information, to encourage, to give that hope, because we all need it. And I consider the fact I got a doctor that put me on this path an incredible gift. And you have to keep giving it out. People need it.
Yep. All right, Sue. Thanks very much, and we'll talk again. Thank you.